Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. What do we have here? Well, I have a lot of catch up to do here, being gone for, 3 days. A lot of things happened, but nevertheless, the information, the developments I'm going to discuss in this video occurred today and yesterday. Today being Monday, yesterday obviously was Sunday. What do we have here? We're going to discuss the United States of America applying the same technique of having countries, independent and sovereign countries, in line by threats of retaliation. That is, somehow I'm in charge of you on this planet and I tell you what to do. And if you don't do what I tell you to do, then I'm going to hurt you. Now, this is the fantastic parent that we're supposed to look up to. So Donald Trump, the United States of America, and I'm not equating that, the Trump in the United States of America, but due to the Congress and Donald Trump's support, the United States of America's policy will be like this. Whomever dares to do business with this person that only I, deem as being bad, I'm going to hurt you. I've been through this. That is a communist tactic, or at least the people in charge of that country called Romania at that time. That's how they were rolling. Not only at the top, in schools as well. You do what I tell you because I designated this person as being bad. I'm not going to ask you how you designate that person as. In this case, Russia. So Trump backs bill sanctioning any country on this planet cooperating with Russia. Do you understand that? Well, if you're okay with that, I hope that happens in your institution as well, when your boss is going to say, Gigi is bad. Whomever talks to Gigi, I will f you up. All right? All right. Let's move. That's the first topic. And the US is drafting severe sanctions against Russia's trade partners. Got it? All right. But we are not at war with Russia. That's good. And we have China, which is not Romania or Albania or something like that, you know what I mean, on the big global stage, and says, you know what? You can't do that. You're not my boss. Well, what do you think will happen? According to the Russians, probably is going to be, not probably, the clash between the Anglo-Saxon world that owns the West at this point, under the tutelage of you know whom exactly, correct, are going to escalate the fight against the BRIC countries. We all know this, they know it, they just sugarcoat it and prepare the terrain for the war. I'm not talking about war, no, different kind of war. According to the Russians, Russia and the United States actively discussing Ukrainian peace process. Kremlin says that. Now, you can say, well, I need evidence. Well, it's a statement made by someone involved in that. And as of now, I don't have any counter statements or counter arguments to oppose this statement. And that's fantastic. That means these guys in the Anglo-Saxon sphere, and when I say Anglo-Saxon, you have to understand that it's not France that is in charge here. It's not Romania. It's not, Italy. No, it's the United States of America, and somewhere down the line is England. Not Great Britain, England. So it's great. But the Russians said, you know what, we, the Slavic people, tell you that's not how things work. Why? In order to be a peace, and we meet Trump with, we put them together again, Putin, we have to discuss things. When they're going to meet again, they're going to sign something meaningful. Not like here Hollywood owned, you know what I mean? And just a little photo op. It seems like in Anchorage, Alaska, when Putin and Trump met, they sat down and they agreed to a path. And I said, this is what we do in general. We agree with this, we disagree with this. But we agree, let's work on the agreements. In order to do that, our teams Not Putin and Trump is going to sit down and say, what do you think, Donald? What should we do? Oh, Vladimir, I think we should do. No, they have teams that will be in contact. Foreign ministry and experts. That's exactly what the Russians are saying here. Next, the United States of America, I would say, continues its terrorist attacks on, without due process, on people driving or riding boats. Not in the Caribbean Sea. No, they moved across, and that is in East Pacific. So they are policing the southern hemisphere over there, like the Monroe Doctrine, remember? But hey, they tell us, they never lie to us, and I'm going to show you what the connection is. All right, it's like the politicians with the media and the owners of the media. The same here. The intelligence services tell us through their media what happened, and Pentagon, boom, 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 whomever they want to boom, boom, boom. So it is the 21st strike on alleged drug boat with no due process. You don't do this in America. If a guy runs away, you don't shoot him in the back. You don't even chase him with a car because you're afraid can get in an accident and kill innocent people. You let him flee and you apprehend the alleged suspect later. That's how they operate here. But over there, boom, I think you're a bad dude. Why? My intelligence told me so. When was the last time the US intelligence lied or was flimsy? I think it was one main event with destroying a few countries in the Middle East. You remember the lie with Iraq and Afghanistan? Remember Iraq, Saddam Hussein, weapons of mass destruction? That was the intelligence. So if that did not convince you, then that these guys are political, then thank you very much. But hey, they are working to protect us and our children, our future, our way of life. Next, Trump doesn't rule out talks with Maduro. That's fantastic. The problem is this. This is Trump. I want your property. I want your oil. Oh, you don't want to give it to me? Okay, here are the weapons. Boom, here is your dog. Boom. Oh, that's your cat. Boom. Oh, that's your mom. Oh, and I'm willing to talk to you now. What does that tell you? I'm going to get you like the Americans got the Japanese in the Second World War. Through a war crime. The atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were war crimes. And why? And probably genocidal moves. Why? Because if you tell you, I'm going to go to your son, Hiroshima, to your daughter, Nagasaki, to Tokyo, your wife, Kobe, your uncle, Baba, your mom, I'm going to exterminate all of you until you bend over and take it deep. How do you call that? In the name of good and protecting our boys' lives and shortening the war. Now, if that's okay to you, I ask you, should the Russians do the same thing? If they dropped a few bombs in, I don't know, a few capitals or something, maybe the war in Ukraine will be shortened and the Russian boys' lives will be saved using the same argument. Oh no? Why? Because they designated the Russians as bad? Isn't it what it is? I think so. All right, next one. Macron with a approval rating below 20%. I think it's below 10. Therefore, he doesn't have the authority to rule. I thought that majority rules. But hey, what do you work within the system? Wait 5 years until you kick him out or something. So Zelensky visits Macron and he gets a deal. He gets an agreement to strengthen Ukraine's defense sector. And Zelensky Stein will receive 100 Rafale fighter jets. My question is, how will Ukraine pay for 100 Rafale fighter jets? It's a bankrupt country. I tell you, you and I will pay for that. Why? Because the people in charge of us know better. And they cannot tell us what's going on because we can't handle the truth. All right, let's start with the first topic. Trump backs bill sanctioning any country cooperating with Russia. I didn't know that the US is in charge of the world, is it? You can say, well, you know, any country can implement whatever policies regarding everybody else. Yeah, but you understand that one definition of terrorism is trying to change a country's policies by using, you know, methods of blackmail, threats, Boom, boom, boom. Doesn't that sound like you do what I tell you, otherwise you change your opinion, your behavior, otherwise I will smack you? Doesn't that sound close to that? If you think it doesn't, I hope that happens to you. Why? I'm sorry to bring it personal, but I think personal helps very much. Abstract, yeah, it's good, yeah, we can do that, it's fantastic. But some people work on personal. And only when they are touched, burnt, personal, then they jump and say, oh my God, that's not fair, it hurts me. But what about that guy? The same thing happened to him and you were okay with that. Why? Well, what's going on? Next. US drafting severe sanctions against Russia's trade partners. Okay, first, what is the United States of America? It's just another country. I mean, if you go by rules-based world order that the Americans are yapping around, and I say Americans, I'm talking about the guys in charge of our country. And they are not Trump, and they're not the senators or the House representatives. They're not. The forces are a little bit further than that, okay? A little bit. So it's just another country under the United Nations. They're equal with everybody else. The only thing that they have is one thing, the veto power in the Security Council. That's in the Security Council, United Nations Security Council. That's it. In the Assembly, in the General Assembly, they are equal. They have one vote and no veto. But they avoid that. They made it in such a way that we are all equal, but some of us are more equal. Why? Because we're better. We just dropped 2 atomic bombs. So we know how it is. Therefore, we're going to keep everybody from not doing it. It's like a rapist who did it twice and is going to say, oh, okay, everybody against, I will make sure that nobody does it because I know how it is to, okay, we know what I mean? That's the logic. Thank you very much. So again, Russia's trade partners. Now I understand if you do that to me, I will do that to you. So, but if you, let's say you're an independent country out there, as we're told, put that in the context of a neighborhood with your neighbors. And 2 neighbors have problems. And one neighbor comes and says, if you talk to the neighbor I don't like, I will hurt you. Is that neighbor someone that you would like in charge of you? You would befriend him? Clearly, he tells you he's in charge of you. Oh, you want that subordinate position? Go ahead. I don't. All right, next one. And that's aimed at India mainly and China. Why? China buys it, India buys it and sell it further. I'm talking about oil and gas. China voices opposition to unilateral sanctions, rejects US anti-Russia restrictions. Got it? Why? Because China knows that the fight is not about Ukraine and Kiev. The fight is about the globe, the world. That's what it is. And they know that they need Russia's resources. And after they get Russia's resources and, may I say, give it to the right people to manage it, then the next one is going to be China. And China without resources going to be strangled. Can't produce squat. Got it? And then the economic war will be won by the guys in charge of the United States of America without even fighting the war. Because the Chinese already know they lost. So, of course they reject it. What are they going to do? You have to hold the line. They're coming with elephants and all these baboons. You have to hold the line. Your shield and your spear. All right? Keep it over there. Don't move. Don't lose it. Your brother right here, you're going to open your brother's shoulder if you move. That's holding the line. Next one, about the Spartans, by the way. According to the Russians, Russia, the United States of America, actively discussing Ukrainian peace process. That's fantastic, because the war is not between Ukraine and Russia. The fight is between the guys in charge of the Anglo-Saxons, using their NATO arm, military arm, to spread their influence and dominance over the globe. That's it. Further than that, it's just details. So Russia says, we might have gotten the guys who represent the beast at a negotiating table. It doesn't mean that they're not trying to stab us in the back while they show us the beautiful moon. Hey, Ivan, it's a beautiful moon, isn't it? Duh. That's what happened in the past, and the Russians, it seems like, fuckingly learned the lesson. Next one. The Americans are doing something that they could do it to you. Americans in the American government, I'm talking about, CNN. And I like that CNN finally finds this word in its repertoire regarding this issue. U.S. military carried out 21st strike on alleged drug boat. Why alleged? Because some people say it was a drug boat. That's not proven. And who did that? I'm going to tell you. Intelligence confirmed that the vessel was involved in illicit narcotics smuggling transiting along the And this happened in where? This happened in the, where is that? Come on. Southern Command, Pentagon. It is in South Pacific, East Pacific. Where is that, man? Come on, I know that. I lost it. The Pentagon conducted intelligence Southern Command, three were killed. All right, the vessel in Eastern Pacific. Where is Eastern Pacific? Well, let me show you. Let's see what we have here open. All right, we have this little Russian thing. All right, East Pacific. I have to remind you, the United States of America is right here, okay? Is right here, okay? And right here somewhere, okay, with the Hawaii. So they did it here in East Pacific, somewhere in this area. Now they moved from here, from Caracas, Venezuela, they moved to Colombia and Ecuador. Ecuador just had a referendum, singular, and said that we don't want U.S. bases in our country. That's East Pacific right there. And Colombia said we stop sharing information with the Americans as the Brits did. And the Americans designated Colombia's president as being what exactly? Check it out. Check it out. Is that, well, we have to work for the good. Like the masks and the COVID. Remember? The common good, the common good. Well, let me be in charge of the common good. And let me decide what the common good is. Because I wasn't asked. Oh, Emily, if you don't know what common good is, see, that's why I'm in charge of you. I can use the same argument if I'm in charge. Well, the common good is to take care of that, that, and that. And if you don't know that's common good, shut the fuck up. I'm in charge. This is the common good. So they did that. Remember, they said it's the 21st alleged drug boat. And they killed, what, 3 people over there or something? I'm not crying for those guys. But remember, if you see injustice done to your enemy by your government, right? It's your enemy. You applaud that. But they didn't have a problem doing injustice to them. They will not have any problem doing that to an acquaintance or to a friend of yours or then to you. They will have no problem. It's just a matter of interest. They want that from them or you, they will get it. And how did they get it? They strike them. And then they tell you, like in Iraq, they have weapons of mass destruction. I don't believe anything these guys are telling me. Anything. I'm sorry. And that's the way I am. Unless evidence is provided. But you use the intelligence confirmed? What are you talking about? Let me get a clown right here to confirm. My God. And they're using it. The CNN speaks like, oh my God, yeah, the intelligence. We're just reporting here. Okay. Next one. Trump doesn't rule out talks with Venezuela's Maduro. So he blows up things. He's ready to attack this independent sovereign country, right? But after he does that, I explained already, he said, I don't rule out talking with him. If he does what I tell him to do, man, he needs to give me his oil. And then in a month, within a month, he will be at the White House as the reformed terrorist from Syria was invited. And Mohammed bin Salman is going to come. From Saudi Arabia, the guy with Khashoggi, that the intelligence services told us that he might have known and been involved in Khashoggi's. All right, that's not massage. Okay, that's transition, or okay, that's what it is. So he's gonna be over there. That's fine. And he tells me that terrorist. Why should I pay taxes when I see the government doing and inviting? They always did this. Remember, the United States of America dealt and promoted and supported and helped get power tyrants. Didn't matter if they're communist, didn't matter if they're capitalist. If you follow my orders, you're my man. The moment you don't follow my orders, I'm going to take care of you. Maduro is not following orders. If Maduro tomorrow says yes, within a month he's at the White House with Trump. All right? And it's not only Trump. Every other U.S. president that we had so far would have done the same thing. I guarantee you that. Why? Because they're not in charge. That's why. They're told what to do. They're not in charge. And let's see what Trump says. Exactly, right? We may be having some discussions with Maduro, and we'll see how that turns out. That means that's a threat. Or take it however you want. We may, that means I might talk to this low Maduro guy, and we'll see how it turns out. If he doesn't, they would like to talk. Of course they do, because they're not criminals like they're narco-terrorists. They're talking about we are blowing up. Well, remember General Patton? Allegedly, he said that, allegedly, right, or reportedly, however you want to say it. I'm not saying that's true, but some people say, as I learned in college in the US, when you want to make a statement, but you don't want to be liable, or, is that how we call it? Or, oh my God, Emil stated that. You say, some people say that General Patton said maybe we fought the wrong enemy in the Second World War. Oy vey! Don't say they. All right, let's move to the next one. Let's see what the French is doing. You know what French is doing? Yes, Anglo-Saxons, tell me how high you want me to jump. Ukrinform. Macron and Zelensky signed an agreement to strengthen Ukraine's defense sector. This is a racket. We have diversity over there as well. We have some fighters, we have some flags, and we have this beautiful Rafale thing. Who's winning here? The banks, the French military-industrial complex, and the energy industry. Why? You need all that in order to build that airplane over there. Hey, schools and roads, we don't need them. We need weapons. Why? Putin is trying to destroy our way of life, man. You're too short-sighted. You have to be beyond the horizon. You can't look straight. You have to go like this. You have to around the curve of the planet. Oh, you said it's flat? Okay, no problem. I don't give a shit, actually. So let's see what these guys are going to do it. What they're going to do. Ukraine orders. Ukraine, a bankrupt country, full of corruption. They order 100 Rafale fighter jets from France. How much do they cost? They tell us. Rafale, papa, it's excellent. Hey, where is Brigitte? In your ass? All right, so. Who's paying for that exactly? A country that produces weapons with the help of the Western finance intelligence technology. Yes. The Ukrainians are geniuses only now. I don't know. 5 years ago, the Ukrainians were no geniuses. Now they find Neptune again. They find the Flamingo. Remember? They fight all these, my God, we got all these weapons now we have competition, man. We have to invent now. But you give me money, you give me resources, you give me technology, and we're going to call the Flamingo instead of calling that, Tomahawk. That's fine. And we're going to use, our Suhois fit for Flamingo. I'm just saying, I don't think flamingos are, I think, land-based. But nevertheless, that's how they are. And we're supposed to believe that. It's their industry making money by sucking our energy. Why? They borrow the money. Or they try to steal it from the Russians. And if they try to steal it from the Russians, that's one thing. They anger the Russians. That's another aspect. The problem is they will borrow the money. The Western world is bankrupt almost. You don't believe me? They themselves are. That's what they do. So what they do, it's going to be on you. With taxes. So your son will not have a good education, will have a worse life than you have. Why? Because, man, virtue, morality, we fight evil. We're told. By whom exactly? By people who would not send their children into war. They send your children. It makes me vomit. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.